Alright, hello boys and girls and gentlemen, ladies and all that. Today we got Real Time with Bill Maher. Maher. I know how to pronounce it, thank you. But this was a video sent by my friend Cole, who told me I should react to it. So let's see. It seems like it's about Ahmed and his clock issue, you know, the one that's all over the news. So we're going to get into it. 3, 2, 1, boom.
I'm going to ask another question that's similar, but not about the same ethnic group. There was a big story this week about a 14-year-old Muslim American teenager in Texas who built a clock. He's a science kid, and that's great. Can we show the clock? Okay, and the people at the school thought it might be a bomb, perhaps because it looks exactly like a fucking bomb.
It doesn't look like a bomb.
And I noticed, you know, you were at the debate, and Jake Tapper was asking you about ISIS and important questions about terrorism, and he cut you off and said, "Excuse me, Governor, I have to talk about a 14-year-old who built a clock."
Yeah.
And they did, and look, this kid deserves an apology, no doubt about it. They were wrong. But could we have a little perspective about this? Did the teacher really do the wrong thing?
Can I jump in?
Go ahead. Because I've talked to the kid.
Go ahead.
Right, he's from Dallas, and I've talked to the people in the school district. The kid is a super smart kid, science geek. We talked about science, but while I'm talking to him on the phone, as I asked him a question, tell me what happened, because I'm curious, right? His sister, over his shoulder, you could hear, listening to the question, giving him the answer. So I don't know all the details of what happened, but what I do know, when I talked to him about science, when I talked to him about magnets, when I talked to him about creating things, he was very, very engaged.
He's great. He's a great kid.
He's a great kid.
No one's doubting that. I'm just asking about perspective. First of all, the teacher, did she do? I don't know.
No. Okay, no. But part two to all this. So I talked to. This is once removed, right? So I talked to people in Irving, Texas, that worked with people in MacArthur, the school, and I said, "What happened? What did you hear?" This is again secondhand. He said the kid Ahmed took the clock, put it into first class. Teacher said, "Great, looks great, looks great." Kid picks it up, takes it to the second class. Teacher said, "Okay, whatever, it's great, it's great." Ahmed didn't really comment on it from what I heard. Takes it to the third class, same thing. Then he got to a point, again, secondhand, where one of the teachers, an English teacher apparently, said, "Look, you gotta put it in your backpack because it's gonna make some people nervous and it's making me nervous." And again, secondhand, he wasn't responsive to it at all. So it took 6 classes before anything happened.
But this wouldn't have happened if he wasn't Muslim.
No, I don't
that's what I disagree with. We have policies. Zero tolerance.
The whole controversy is precisely because of the color of his skin.
See, I don't think so.
It's not the color of his skin.
Yes, of course.
It's not the color of his skin.
And his religion.
Excuse me, somebody look me in the eye right here and tell me, over the last 30 years, if so many young Muslim men, and he's young, 14, but that's not never happened before.
Right.
Hasn't blown a lot of shit up around the world. And and this kid deserves an apology because he wasn't one of them. But let me read what somebody said on the Daily Beast. Dean Obadiah said, "Why would a homemade clock get him arrested, you may ask?"
Exactly.
I just answered that question. Because for the last 30 years, it's been one culture that has been blowing shit up over and over again. I could spend the rest of this. I could spend.
Texas.
Well, excuse me, but lots of teenagers around the world have gone to join ISIS. Just a couple in Mississippi a few weeks ago were doing it. And every time somebody goes to join ISIS, everybody around there says, "I can't believe it. We didn't see it coming. We
cannot blame young Muslims around the world for what
but all the kid had to do was engage with the teacher, and he didn't. That's the part that was missing. It's not, I agree with you, right? We're making an issue because if a walks like a duck, talks like a duck.
He's responsible for
not him. Not him.
He was wrong, he got arrested, but he didn't, all he had to do was talk to the teacher.
But
he didn't.
Okay.
So that's what he.
Wait, let me read the rest of what this person said. He said, he's talking about the fact that he was from Irving, Texas. He said, Irving is only 25 minutes from Garland, where they draw the Prophet Muhammad contest. Remember that a few months ago?
Yes.
Was attacked, as it was, by ISIS-sympathizing gunmen in May. The message is clear. If you are a Muslim, anything you might do might be a plot to destroy America. No, the message is you can see why they would err on the side of caution.
Absolutely.
Because only 25 miles away, somebody did try to kill people.
I can't believe I agree with you, Bill.
But it is not right that
I
a
actually agree.
14-year-old is
And by the
detained
way,
because of that.
we have zero tolerance in school for things that are suspicious. And, you know,
Right.
maybe that doesn't look like a bomb, but it doesn't look like a clock. And if I'm a teacher...
What if it had been a
regardless-
bomb?
Yeah, exactly.
And so the teacher is supposed to see something that looks like a bomb and go, oh, wait, this just might be my white privilege talking.
Right, right.
I sure don't want to be politically incorrect, so I'll just let it go.
You know what the problem
Yeah,
in this country,
exactly.
one of the problems we got is this willingness to take sides in a fight like this without knowing what the hell happened. And it is amazing. Everybody goes right to their battle stations. I'm with the minority.
Yeah.
The minority's right. Those teachers are wrong. How do you know? I wasn't there. You weren't there.
The problem is
I don't know. How do you know?
Chris,
Everybody's an expert. It's all cartoon. Everything's a fucking cartoon.
no, the liberals
It is.
can't. I'm glad you
Because a
said fuck it.
14-year-old was arrested
but
for doing a
liberals
science project.
How do you know
cannot-
what
No,
it's
there
not?
wasn't a science project, right?
Right.
He should not have been arrested, but he should have opened his mouth and had
Right,
a conversation
exactly.
about it.
He was
could
ar-
have said, this is not a bomb.
He was arrested, and they took him off in cuffs and then put him in a cage and burned him. Oh, no, that's ISIS who does that.
No,
You know what? We put a kid after school for a couple of hours. This is not the end of the world. But you know what? The end of the world does happen all over
And
the
he
world
survived just
for
nicely.
millions of Muslims who are the victims of other Muslims, of their religion. Where are the liberals on this? You know what? There's a Saudi who is right now, he was arrested. His name is Ali Muhammad Al-Nim, or N-I-M-R. I don't know how you pronounce that. He was arrested for being at an anti-government rally a few years ago. Today, he lost his final legal appeal to not be crucified. So they're going to crucify him. Crucify him and then behead him in case the crucifixion didn't work. So if you haven't used up all your heroism hashtagging for the clock kid, maybe do it for this guy. There he is.
Nice low resolution picture.
The lack of perspective on this is astounding.
I just want to say one thing.
You know,
The teachers said something that sounds credible. They said he wasn't forthcoming. The kid had a chance to explain himself. All you'd have to do is explain yourself. And for whatever reason, just shyness, we don't know what it was. He wasn't used to that kind of tension. But he didn't explain it. Who would have been there to explain this thing? I don't know.
Okay.
But you know what, Richard, real quick. You know who the big winner is? Ahmed. Because when I talked to him,
Sure.
he got all the attention, right? You know, his 2 hours were taken. But he told me, look, I've been getting all these offers. I'm not going back to MacArthur. I'm going to pick which school I want to go to now because everybody's offering me scholarships. The kid came out way ahead.
But I would love it if one of the adults who has talked to him would also say to him, you know what happened to you was wrong. But maybe one of the reasons why it happened to you is because in our religion, we were responsible for 9/11, the Madrid bombings, the London bombings, the Bali discotheque bombings, the Kenya mall bombing.
And he's not responsible for that.
He's not. Of
Exactly.
course not. We're not saying he... Okay, we've had this discussion long enough.
Okay. That was really interesting. Things were getting a little heated in there. I guess they're mostly on the same page though, except for one gentleman. I do appreciate that stance. It's kind of like what he says about perspective really makes a lot of sense. I never really, I guess, thought of it in that way. To be honest, I never was really that interested in the whole Ahmed clock story to begin with. It's like, yeah, on the surface, it's looks like a bomb. It could be attached to, or they said it was a bomb. It could be just attached to the culture. At the same time, yeah, erring on the side of caution makes sense. But I really don't think it was because it's right to err on the side of caution because of the religion. More so because of the fact that it may look like a bomb, you know? I feel like the fact that Muslims, that some Muslims are responsible for all these tragic terrorist attacks and all these things, these bombings, shouldn't really be reflected onto other Muslims as needing to be cautious all the time. Because we've seen several times, you don't have to be a Muslim to do a terrorist attack, to do a bombing, or anything hostile like this. The one quote I really had a problem with, though, the one thing that Bill said, is for the last 30 years it has been one culture blowing shit up. Like, I think that's a little much. Shows how he's a little narrow-minded on the subject. I don't know, there's just something about that statement. It's like, one culture blowing shit up for the last 30 years. It's a very specific part of the culture. It's not the entire culture, though. But the one thing I do agree with, the main thing I do agree with, is that we always are trying to be politically correct, which often clouds our judgment on things. And I do agree with the simple fact that it didn't look like a clock. So that was cause enough for suspicion, and it's better to err on the side of caution, so I don't think the teacher was in the wrong at all in that instance. But sure, he should, like you said, he should be apologized to. He didn't do anything wrong in this instance, but it was all done, it was harmless in the way it was done as well. He was arrested, but for how long? A couple hours? It was just to be cautious, but I can see how it can be taken and misconstrued in several ways, though.